You're listening to the Sonic Drive Show with Wade Marriner. This is RPFM 107.5.
All right, we've got a guest in the studio with us. He's been active in New Zealand music since about 1999. Released his first self-titled album in 2000. He's won multiple music awards, including Best Electronic Album, Best Independent Album. Joining us in the studio is Matt from Concord Dawn.
What an intro!
What an intro. You like that?
I feel old and acclaimed.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I got told I look like an old crackhead today, you know. I was like, really? I don't think I look that bad, do I?
I frequently get told I look old.
I'm not that wrinkly.
By him.
I think it's because I'm wearing a collared shirt today and not a t-shirt. That's probably what it is. It adds 5 years, you know.
Were you wearing slippers and carrying a newspaper?
No, I wasn't actually. I have been in my pajamas a lot the last couple of days. That's for sure, though. Flannels.
Getting over the jet lag?
Getting over the jet lag back to back with flu, back to back with general exhaustion.
Never good. So, we're here to have a chat to you about your upcoming show and your new album.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you live in Italy most of the time, if that's correct? Austria, sorry.
Yeah, it's just next door.
Just next door? I was close.
It is next door.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's good to be back in New Zealand, obviously. Yeah,
I mean, flu and exhaustion and whatnot notwithstanding, it's been cool. It's been good catching up with everyone and you know, getting around and up and down the country for the first weekend last weekend, so that was cool.
Yep.
And had some pretty mean shows too, so it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a humbling at the store. So,
awesome.
Owakuni on the Saturday was ridiculous. Like, they stopped what we were doing.
Where'd you play?
At the Turoa Lodge.
Yep.
But had over 500 through down there, so that was pretty sick.
Wow, that's massive.
I had to get my shoes and socks off because I was like sweating that much.
The Turoa Lodge must have been absolutely packed to the rafters.
Oh, ridiculous.
500 people at Turoa Lodge.
Yeah, well, I had long johns on because I was like, oh man, I've got the flu. I don't want it to get worse, you know.
It's cold down there as well.
Yeah, so I had woolly socks on, long johns, you know, heaps of layers.
Yeah.
And then sort of rocked into the gig, and I'd been in there for about 30 seconds, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, ran into the toilets, took my long johns off, you know. And then by the time I started DJing, I was like, I can't wear my shoes and socks anymore. This is just too much. So.
Oh, well, no one can see behind the booth, can they?
Yeah, no. As long as I don't get my shirt off, everyone's happy. You know, no one's none the wiser.
Yeah, this is true. So, you know, do you miss New Zealand when you're away? What do you miss most? Do you miss the miss the friendly people or the? Yeah,
I miss lots of things. I mean, even just like on the way over here in the cab, like I mean, I can speak a bit of German now, but just being able to have a little having a chit chat with your cab driver and whatnot, and
yep.
You know, just I think everyone in New Zealand's real friendly. It's not just all my mates and that. It's just being able to go into a dairy and talk absolute rubbish with the guy behind the counter or what have you. But you know, there's things I really like about New Zealand and things I really like about Austria, and you know, it's like having having two wives and one's good in bed and one's a good cook. You know, you have to kind of
get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have everything all at once. You know,
you can have your cake and eat it too, eh? So this is your third release under Concord Dawn as a solo act? Is it third album?
Well, no, second album.
Second album.
I did the Enemy Within album as well, and I also did an EP earlier in the year together with Trey from Wellington. He's coming up on Saturday, so that was the Wipeout EP, and I did the Race to Zero EP. So it's kind of 3 albums because it's 2 albums and 2 EPs. I guess 2 EPs equals an album, right?
Yeah, that's
pretty much. They're like half albums, aren't they?
Half an album, mini album.
So yeah, it's been 2 albums, 2 EPs. Well, you could say 3 albums. So, but definitely, you know, more and more in my stride now. I mean, the first ones without Evan were probably a bit harder, you know. I was a bit more used to having him around, whereas now I'm kind of like, the groove is flowing and I'm kind of used to doing it without him now. It would be kind of odd to go back to it now, I would say.
Going back to, working with someone else, did you mean?
Yeah, like, I've gotten really used to doing everything all by myself. And I started a collaboration with some of the boys from Austria while I was working on the album, and I was pretty much just dry, you know, I was kind of like ignoring everyone and doing my own thing and lost my own little world, and I think they were kind of like a little bit.
Slow down.
Yeah, so I think maybe I have gotten a bit used to doing that way now, which is good because that's how it is, you know.
Yeah, it's great. So do you think your sound has changed much over the time? I think you said back then there was a bit harder, did you say?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit. I mean, there's still some pretty heavy tunes on the album, you know, like it's not like it's Love Songs Till Midnight or anything. I mean, and it's only natural too. I mean, people get older and they change as well. Like, you know, you were talking about when the first album came out, and that was in 2000, you know? That's a long time ago now.
It is.
And, you know, it's not like I've sold out and started making a different kind of music. I'm still making drum and bass, but of course it's going to evolve. You know, everyone's different after 10 years. And if I was releasing drum and bass that sounded like 2000 era drum and bass now, it would sound out of place, like no one would be listening to it, you know?
That's right.
So, you know, you don't put out disco in the 90s. You know, it's
some people do.
Well, some people do.
We probably don't hear of them though.
Yeah, well, that's it. But yeah, so it's just kind of natural for these things to progress and change. And you know, I've been living in a different city in a different country for the last 6 years, so that obviously, you know, it's not like I have heaps of German Oompa or, you know, Austrian singing in my music or anything like that, but it's bound to be some kind of change to things.
Yeah, awesome. And so this Saturday you're at studio for the release of your Air Chrysalis album. What can we expect for your show? Do you still DJing? Are you playing live now, or?
No, I don't know about the whole playing live thing. I mean, a lot of the time, I don't want to be a dead mouse, but I mean, a lot of the time, to me, it can often be less live than DJing. You know. I mean, I can see why people do it, which is generally to be able to charge a lot more money. But
to put live next to their name.
Well, really, that's half the time. That's what it's about more than anything else. I mean, people can tell you it's about delivering a better experience to the crowd or what have you, but half the time it's a lot less live than DJing and with some fancy lights. I mean, that's not always the case. But no, I'm still just DJing. You know, throwing together mixes as and when I see fit. I mean, I've always got a couple favourite mixes up my sleeve, but I do read the crowd to a certain extent, you know. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but, you know, if people are going off to the harder stuff, then I play more harder stuff. And I'll you know, I'll always play what I want to play. But, you know, I think that's one of the whole beauties of DJing, and to go out there and have like a 2-hour pre-prepared set where you push play and then bugger around with some knobs, not really doing much while everyone dances, is not really what I want to do, you know.
Great.
So yeah, it should be a fun night. And Trey's coming up from Wellington, as I said before. I don't know if he's been up so often lately, so it'll be good for kids to check him. And he's a great little DJ as well. Like, he's real sick. He's been coming over to Europe a couple of times a year as well. So
cool.
I've been catching up with him more in Europe than I have in New Zealand, to be honest. So he's coming up, and then Bugsy, Buck Rogers, and Mitch Incognito are coming over from Melbourne. They've moved over there, but they're coming back to play the show.
Cool.
And then James Coleman's opening up his mixtaper, his project, so that should be fun. And Cypher is coming up, MC from Wellington too. And we might be sneaking in a little extra guest or two, but
little extra guest
here or there, but we'll just leave that to people's imaginations.
So you must be reading my mind, because my next question is: there any surprises in store for us?
There may be a surprise. There's a possibility of surprise.
A possible surprise.
Yes,
but we can't let the cat out of the bag just yet.
It wouldn't be surprising otherwise.
That's right, it wouldn't. So what's next for you after New Zealand, after your shows here? Where are you off to?
Well, I've got 6 dates in Aussie.
Yep.
So that's going to be pretty full on. I only had 2 weekends, so I've got to do like 4 in a row, which I don't really like doing, but it's got to be done.
Yep.
So getting out there, doing Brisbane, Adelaide, Hobart, Sydney, Melbourne, and Canberra. I did Perth earlier in the year.
That's huge.
And then heading back to Vienna, I've got a few things lined up. Going back, there's a guy I play for every year in Portugal, in Porto there.
Yep.
Dublin's on the cards, and a few other things are starting to pop. But I'll probably want to take a little bit of a break when I get back. We've got heaps of guests coming, which always happens in summer in Europe. And me and the missus are going on a little holiday.
Nice.
And I'll be wanting to get back in the studio then too, because I want to be in the studio for 6 weeks. But I've already got the next EP done and ready to go.
Yep.
And whether I put that out or whether I make that part of an album and you know, write a bunch more tunes,
you haven't decided yet.
Haven't decided yet. I thought it would be quite. I mean, it's one thing to put out a free album, you know, that's all well and good. Yeah, that's something, you know, something a bit different. People are giving away a track here and there.
Yep.
But I was thinking, you know, if I could write another album by the end of the year, if I could do like 2 free albums in 1 year, that'd be pretty stupendous, wouldn't it?
It's pretty huge.
Yeah, I don't know if I will, but it would be pretty epic if I did.
It would.
It's tempting.
Do it. You know you want to. So, what was the motivation behind giving your album out for free?
Well, I mean, there's quite a few reasons, really. I mean, I've got enough money. I've got all the clothes a man could want, and I've got a studio full of ridiculous audio equipment. Yeah, I mean, it's actually at the point where I can't fit any more in, and I don't have any more ins and outputs to my computer. So, like, it's just like, well, I can't buy anything else now. And also, just I don't know. I think like dance music's become really commercial in the last couple of years as it's become more and more popular, and that's cool, you know. But I was just like, you know, I just want to write music, and I don't want to care about how much money it makes or whether other people like it or whatever. I'm just going to do it for free because I have my own studio. I mean, the overheads are low, really. So if this thing totally tanked completely and only 100 people downloaded it, then I'd be like, well, it wasn't the end of the world.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
It's not like I've got a huge box of CDs in my garage I'm trying to plug off, you know. So, but I mean, as it happens, I mean, it's had over 10,000 downloads already, and it's still ticking over a couple hundred every day. So it's doing good numbers.
It's massive.
Yeah, so it's been cool. And I just think, yeah, it's nice to. I mean, I've been really lucky to only ever write music I like my whole career, and you know that's been nearly 15 years now, and it's just nice to give something back to all the kids whose support over those years has enabled me to get to this point.
Fantastic.
So yeah, cool. And I'm just a good guy. You know, if someone asked me for a ciggy, I'd probably give them one. So you know, if someone asks me for an album, I'll give them one too. You know?
Fair enough.
You can't have my shoes though. I need those.
No, you need your shoes.
Yeah,
you didn't need them in Awakuni, but then when you finished, if you'd given them away,
exactly, I would have been screwed.
I don't think you would have wanted to walk outside.
I'll be even more
sick
than I am now, I reckon.
Oh yes. So one of your tracks on your new album called "These Prison Walls," featuring Thomas Oliver from the Thomas Oliver Band. That's a bit of a different collaboration. How did that one come about? What happened there?
Well, he's been dabbling his toes. Like he's actually DJing down in Wellington. We did the party down there as well.
All right.
Like he's really into his drum and bass, and he's done. He did a tune with me on the last album. He's done a couple of things with Trey and a mate of mine, Rito from Prague. I'm often over there playing with him. It's not so far from Vienna.
Yep.
He's done a couple of things with him as well. So yeah, I mean he's just got a great voice and he's really into drum and bass, and he wrote some great lyrics too. You know, I'm really lucky. All the vocalists I've worked with have got really good lyrical content. It's not just tonight we're gonna party. It's the future.
Laser lights.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
It's a bit more than that. I mean, that's cool too. I mean, sometimes people want to go out and just relax and enjoy themselves. You know, it doesn't all have to be like chin stroking, nerdy business.
Serious stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it has its place. But for what I wanted to do with this album, I think he really nailed it in terms of like lyrical content and that.
Great. That's awesome. So again, we can catch you at Studio this Saturday, the 21st of July, for the release of Matt's album, Concord Dawn album, Air Chrysalis. Tickets from dashtickets.co.nz.
Yeah, or if you're a slack, you can get them on the night on the door. But I mean, you know, if you're not early, A, it will be more expensive, and B, you might miss out.
Indeed.
Although you can fit a fair few in the studio.
You can one or two.
Yeah, I mean, if it filled up and someone couldn't get in, and they said to me, "Bro, I didn't get a pre-sale. You know, I couldn't get into the gig. It was too full. I wouldn't give them my shoes, but I would give them a cigarette.
There you go.
To make it up to them.
If it's full and you can't get in, Matt will give you a cigarette.
Yeah, there we go.
You've had it. You've heard it here first.
Hopefully, I'm buying a carton on Sunday.
A carton to take with you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, that's all. That's all we've got. So
Choice,
thank you very much for joining us in the studio.
Yeah, nice to be up here with you. It's good to see you on the drive show. So it's nice to come and have a chat.
Haven't seen you for a long time.
Well, I have good reasons.
Yes.
I haven't been here.
Haven't been here. No. And right now we've got a new track called "These Prison Walls" featuring Thomas Oliver that we just talked about. So enjoy that, guys. And again, if you want to go and see Concord Dawn this Saturday, the 21st of July at Studio for the release of his brand new album, Air Chrysalis. Tickets from dashtickets.co.nz, or you can get them on the door. And one thing we've got to ask you is, where can people download your album?
Oh, if you just bung like Concord Dawn into Google, you'll find it. But you can either go to like concord-dawn.co.nz.
Yep.
And that'll just send you off to SoundCloud and Facebook and Twitter and all that. Or if you just go to Facebook, which is facebook.com/Concord Dawn NZ.
Yep.
And it's just there. There's even an arrow pointing to where to click.
A big arrow. Click here. Click here for the free album.
Yeah, it makes it easy. I don't think you can grab it if you're on your phones, but if you're on your laptop, you certainly can.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Matt.
No worries, bro.
And here is These Prison Walls by Concord Dawn. Enjoy.
A well-known pretend I'm stronger. I don't belong here. Between these long and cold prison walls, I will no longer pretend I'm stronger. I don't belong here. Between these long and cold prison walls.